Hey guys, today we're taking a journey back in time to the battlefield that I navigated right after leaving my corporate job. I was about 2 months after my last day, and I had finally gained some clarity on the new business venture that I would be launching. And just as I thought my days would now be filled with calculated direction and tasks, the fear and the doubt became debilitating for 3 days. Here's how it went down, and another raw, heartfelt moment of surrender that I just wanted to share for the person who is feeling lost or in a dark place or maybe all up in their head. Just know that this too shall pass. It was the first time in almost 8 weeks that I actually had a to do list related to work items. The list was easily 30 plus items long, and I had 1 week to get it done. Challenge accepted. I was excited about the items, and I just knew that these things on this list, they were going to create this foundation for the journey and ahead and the new offers that I was going to launch and all of the things. So I was eagerly ready to get into these tasks. A few hours later, I was caught paralyzed with minimal progress except a reorganized, maybe it was prioritized, but it was just a reorganized list. I had rewritten the to-do list. Like, do you ever do that? Crap. Hours of no real progress. Before I knew it, it had turned into days with nothing to really show for it. Double crap. We'll just say that. And it wasn't that I hadn't prioritized working on the task or that I was procrastinating. Even worse, in my opinion, is that I actually had been diligent about if I said I was going to be in front of the computer, I was in front of the computer. Even if it meant nothing but scribbled out text or just another draft thrown in the trash. I committed to putting in the time, putting in the hours. And the longer that I sat in this uninspired and I'll say it, I felt pressure, like this pressured state, the more I could literally feel the dark clouds over my brain starting to loom and my body actually starting to shut down. It felt like I was under attack. And the person who was attacking me was that little voice inside my own head that was throwing these fiery arrows in every desperate attempt to just keep me down and dark and numb and paralyzed in this place that I didn't think I would even find myself in. It was words, and we'll see if you can, again, I'm willing to go first here, but pretty vulnerably, it was the things that were pulsating in my mind were phrases like, "Who do you think you are? You can't do this." Or, "You have no idea what you're doing. This is going to take years before it'll yield a return. You're running out of time." Or the one that just really I couldn't shake was the one that said, "Why are you even trying? Go back to what you know, make the stable living, and let's just move on with this phase." I have been in dark places before, like places where self worth and value are dust specks in the sea of hurt and lies and just this downward spiral living. I needed a reset, or I knew that this was going nowhere good fast. So after 3 days of this, 3 days of beating myself up, doesn't that sound crazy? Crazy things I would never say to another human being, but what we allow to ourselves. And yes, I realized just several weeks ago I dropped an episode on negative self-talk, right? Like, even being aware of it, this spiral, I think that's partially why it was so debilitating, because I know better. And so that, of course, that stacked onto everything else I was telling myself. So after 3 days, I knew I had to do something different. I had to shake up the routine. Set the alarm for 4:23 a.m. The alarm goes off. I commit to popping out of bed. All right, great. convinced myself that eyes barely open, I am going to get back downstairs in front of the computer, and it's going to be a new day, new vibe. I'm sure I've got some inspired motivation at this point. Nothing. I sat down at my desk and felt the same feelings rush over me. And in an attempt, I literally I throw my head into my hands, and I look up and I see that there are 5 books that I keep right next to my desktop, including Gabrielle Bernstein's The Universe Has Your Back. So I grabbed the book and I let my fingers just glide across the top of the pages, and I opened to this random section. It's the start of chapter 11, which is titled, When You Think You've Surrendered, Surrender More. I felt such anger rush over my body. It was the knee-jerk reaction of like, okay, wait a second. You want me to surrender more? Over the last 2 months, especially, like I've had my whole life turned upside down in surrender. And now my guide this morning is telling me that the best option was to continue to lean into the unknown, the uncertainty, the fear, the surrender. I started noticing like the self-sabotaging anger come up. And so that to me was kind of my sign that I needed to keep leaning in, that the message must have been exactly what I needed to hear. So I read on. And the words, they read, faith and grace, not controlling energy, clear the path for abundance. Again, I could feel that fighter in me trying to resist the awakening that it felt like started to begin stirring. And that fighter voice was saying, okay, that's cute, but real world, like deadlines require timelines. And if I don't get things done, then needles and results don't happen. I started feeling the tears swell up in my eyes as I continued reading. And the next piece, there were two pieces that said, when you overplan, you limit your capacity to co-create with the universe, and allow the voice of your intuition and the energy of love to be your guide, not the misguided ego. You ever feel like shackles can just break free sometimes in the midst of a message you didn't even know you needed? It was crazy. Like how sometimes that message that you need most, the one thing that you need to hear, how it finds you. And if you're willing to look for it and lean in, it lands with you. After that day, that moment, like the sun really felt like it had shined through on my spiritual battlefield. My headspace became so much more clearer. And I just recognized the importance of stepping back into alignment with my intuition. And that peace, that state of mind, that restored hope, like it's created so much space for me to actually serve and co-create from, like a space of real beauty and intention and love, like a space created for me. So if you're in this space right now that feels dark and heavy and hopeless, like, just know, I really do. I believe that messages are all around, ready to shine light into your shadows too. And if you've got nothing else to lose, try surrendering to the love and the intention and the joy so that you can rise up too. And also always keep a good book next to the desk. So I'll say, hey, P.S. Thanks, Gabby. But until next time, I know this one's a short, sweet, and simple one, but I just felt the message was um, it was for someone today. So I love you. And I'll see you on socials or inside the official coaching programs. Until next time, bye. Hey, thanks for listening to today's episode. It means the world to me that you're here to ride in the struggle bus with me, and that you're willing to consider different perspectives, tools, and techniques that just might provide a little bit of relief and get you one step closer to the abundance that is available and waiting for us all. I hope you take a moment to grant yourself some grace where you've been denying it, some love where you didn't realize maybe it was right in front of you, and some faith where you thought all was lost. If this episode had an impact on you, would you please share a comment with a review? I'd love to hear what landed for you, and it helps us get the word out to our fellow struggle bus riders. So please review what was impactful for you. Just know these episodes are a pure labor of love in a space where I'm growing alongside you. I'm evolving every day, and I look forward to all the ways and the things and the perspectives and opinions and choices that will change over the course of time in my own life, day to day. Until next time, just know that you are loved, you are divinely cared for, and in the struggle, the journey of this life really is beautiful. I'm glad that we're in it together. Cheers.